Hello? 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 And welcome to Cinnamon Leaf ASMR and the second Baldur's Gate 3 video. The first one got quite a lot of you excited, so I'm very happy about that. I talked about how much I love this game in the first episode. I will still talk about it again. And there were questions whether I would do a walkthrough, maybe. And while I wasn't thinking of doing that before, because Baldur's Gate is not a relaxing game, anyone who's played it knows that while it has relaxing aspects and is a wonderful game, I'm not saying this to say it's bad, but it's very active, very aggressive in parts. It's quite a lot of battle and dark topics, but I've thought about it and I think I want to give it a go. Not with this character today though. We're gonna build a few characters. I have a character in mind that I would like to do a playthrough with. This is not them. We will see what they end up being, but not the character I'm gonna do the walkthrough with. We're just gonna play with the character creator a bit more before I make a character that I want to do this campaign with, essentially. I hope that's fine with you guys. I've already talked so long, so let's just get into this. Okay, so now I'm unsure because last time we said we would focus on elf, drow, and half-elf as like the elvenish races or heritages. We talked about that as well. And now I'm unsure how to structure the other ones because there's not as much of an obvious selection there. I think it's pretty obvious to go, okay, halfling, dwarf, and gnome as the like smaller races. But then there's half-orc, dragonborn, githyanki, tiefling, and human. And I kind of don't know how to separate those. So I'm unsure. What do you guys think? I think it would make sense to do maybe half-orc, dragonborn, githyanki, and tiefling at once, even though that would give us only one of those characters. We can always go back. And I think making a human character is kind of boring, so let's read about all of them. How about that? Let's read about the tiefling. A very, very popular class, race I mean. Descended from devils of the nine hells, tieflings face constant suspicion and Faerun. Thankfully, their arcane abilities make them natural survivors, and their race features are base speed, dark vision up to 12 meters, and hellish resistance. You have resistance to fire damage, taking only half damage from it. I love how this actually kind of looks like Karlak, who is the tiefling in the party. And there are sub-races to tieflings. There's Asmodeus tiefling, bound to Nessus, the deepest layer of the hells. These tieflings inherited the ability to wield fire and darkness from the archdevil Asmodeus's infernal bloodline. I've also heard it pronounced Asmodeus, which also makes sense, but I think the more common pronunciation is Asmodeus. And there you get a cantrip, produce flame, which is pretty cool. I rarely use it, but it's cool. Mephistopheles tiefling is the one I've played before. Spoilers. Or spoilers. Random side fact. Descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles, these tieflings are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic. And you get Mage Hand. I played a sorcerer character with this subrace, which I think makes lots of sense. And then Zariel tiefling. Tieflings from Zariel's bloodline are empowered with martial strength and can channel searing flame to punish their enemies. That's pretty cool. And you get Thaumaturgy, where you gain advantage on intimidation and performance checks. That's pretty cool. So fun. I'm thinking about what class would work with that. Like, technically those are like, I guess, fighter or barbarian, or maybe even paladin would be cool as a Zariel tiefling. And then let's read human. The most common face in Faerun, humans are known for their tenacity, creativity, and endless capacity for growth. And they have base racial speed, they have civil militia, which we talked a little bit about last time, that they have weapon proficiency with spears, pikes, halberds, and glaives, and armor proficiency with light armor and shields. And they have human versatility. Select an additional skill to be proficient in. Your carrying capacity is increased by 1/4. That's pretty cool. I like that this makes humans more interesting in a way, that they have like something special to them because they are so non-special. I think it's a fun concept. There is no subclasses, subraces I mean, to humans. So let's look at Githyanki. With a ruthlessness born from mind flayer enslavement, Githyanki ride the astral sea atop red dragons, bringing their silver swords and psionic might to bear against any trace of the illithid menace. And they get astral knowledge, where you can gain proficiency in all skills of a chosen ability, which is pretty sick, one gotta say. And they get the cantrip Mage Hand, or it looks almost like they can pick one, but I don't think so. And then move 9 meters per turn, and they get Martial Prodigy. A lifetime of relentless training gave you armor proficiency with light and medium armor, as well as proficiency with a short sword, long sword, and great sword. That's also really, really cool. And then we have Dragonborn. Oh, they're so beautiful. A proud race that values clan and skills above all else. Once enslaved by dragons, they strive to be self-sufficient, not wanting to be beholden to anyone, not even the gods. And there's just base racial speed, 9 meters per turn, but there are sub-races. Don't think there were any with the Githyanki. No, exactly, okay. Just to make sure. So, there's different kinds. Black Dragonborn. Despite no ancestral links to the mighty creatures, these Dragonborn share the charcoal coloration and fizzling, acrid breath of black dragons. So they have an acid specialty, so acid breath, and the blood of ancient dragons flows through your veins. You are resistant to acid damage. And Blue Dragonborn. These Dragonborn share the deep sapphire scales and charged, crackling breath of blue dragons. I mean, that is gorgeous. You get lightning breath. That's very fun. And resistance to lightning damage. Brass Dragonborn. Despite no ancestral links, these Dragonborn share the burnished ochre hue and flickering fiery breath of brass dragons. You get fire breath and fire resistance. Bronze Dragonborn. Beautiful. Despite no ancestral links, these Dragonborn share the shining sepia. Is it sepia or sepia? I think it's sepia. Scales and sparking breath of bronze dragons. Copper is acid again. These Dragonborn share the pink gold coloration and corrosive breath of copper dragons. So acid breath and resistance to acid damage. Interesting that this is like kind of the same. But they look different, so that's still fun. That's a very fun color shift. Gold Dragonborn. These Dragonborn share the resplendent shine and roiling, blazing breath of gold dragons. So that's once again fire, which I think is the same. Right, there were also already doubles here. I didn't notice that. Fire breath. Green Dragonborn. Ooh, these look fun. Despite no ancestral links to the mighty creatures, these Dragonborn share the brilliant emerald aspect and stinking putrid breath of green dragons. So that's poison breath. red dragonborn share the bright scarlet likeness and the roiling, burning breath of red dragons. So that's fire breath. Silver dragonborn, beautiful. They share the glinting shine and scorching cold breath of silver dragons. Scorching cold is an interesting word combination. Frost breath and resistance to cold damage. And white dragonborn. These dragonborn share the snowy aspect and frosty breath of white dragons. So frost breath as well. So these two are the same. That's very fun. Very, very fun. This is making me want to make a dragonborn. They only have 2 body types, so there's no like size difference. There's no large woman. Well, they're already pretty large, I think. But yeah, very interesting. And then let's look at half-orc. Creatures of intense emotion, half-orcs are more inclined to act than contemplate, whether the rage burning their bodies compels them to fight, or the love filling their hearts inspires acts of incredible kindness. That's very sweet. They have base racial speed, dark vision up to 12 meters, and relentless endurance, which is, I think, something they're very famous for. If you reach 0 hit points, you gain 1 hit point instead of becoming downed. I think this is a once a day kind of thing, which is extremely good. Savage attacks. When you land a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you deal an extra dice of weapon damage, which that's pretty crazy actually. Cool. So now we gotta decide. It's hard. I think it's specifically hard between these. I'm not super inclined towards Githyanki. I find their culture a bit hard to get into, and they don't fit my usual playing style. I think the most standard would be to make a tiefling, because we also have like lots of options there, which I love. Like, that's cool, you know? That is really, really cool. Although a large tiefling woman would, I think, be very Kalnek of us, but still really cool. Dragonborn is just generally fun. I assume most of my mods don't work for these, but that's also alright. And an orc would also be fun. They also only have the large ones, which is really interesting. Fun. I think it would be fun to have a small orc. Like, why wouldn't they, you know, be more human-sized? They're half-orc, but I think that's interesting. I think I'm leaning towards tiefling, as always, which is kind of predictable of me. But, like, I don't know, I think playing a tiefling is also really rewarding in this game, because especially in the beginning, you have, like, lots of cool interactions with people. Let's go with, a tiefling. We can see what kind of body we want. I've already been clicking through it. Let's go with tiefling though. I think we should pick something other than last time. So last time we picked body type 1. So I think either 2 or 3 or 4, and I'm disinclined against 3 because it's just Karlak. Even though I love a big woman. I think I might go with a big man. I think that's beautiful. And I love the way on the big design, the like dragony spikes drag across the ribcage. I think that's really pretty. So let's pick a background if we're like a subrace, if we're Asmodeus, Mephistopheles, or Zariel. So this would be a Zariel tiefling, which goes with a big vibe, I would say. This is Mephistopheles. This is actually the face I picked for my second character I ever played in this game. I loved him very much. He was a warlock. Beautiful. Also, you can see that my mods are making this his facial tattoos makeup. Which is kind of cute. I always love that. Like, in the game, characters obviously also have facial tattoos, and my mods keep giving them slay makeup. But they deserve some slay makeup. And then we have Asmodeus. I'm inclined towards Zariel, actually. Thaumaturgy is not like super helpful potentially, but neither do I use produce flame. So let's look at the rest that changes. I think it's really only the cantrip that we get, so that's not that big. And then we gotta pick a class again. I'm wondering if I should read through all these again. I mean, if this is the first video you watch of me, you haven't seen the first one, so we're gonna read through it again. Why not? Let's start with the end. Wizard. Wizards master the arcane by specializing in individual schools of magic, combining ancient spells with modern research. Get some cantrips, some spells, and the action to restore spell slots, and you get spell slots. Warlock. Bound by a pact to an all-powerful patron, warlocks trade their loyalty for supernatural abilities and unique magic. They have cantrips and warlock spell slots, which are different to every other spell slot. Sorcerer. Sorcerers are natural spellcasters drawing on inherent magic from a gift or bloodline, which is really cool. They get cantrips, spells, and spell slots, but I think that would go better with Mephistopheles. Rogue. With stealth, skill, and uncanny reflexes, rogues' versatility lets them get the upper hand in almost any situation. Get sneak attack, ranged, and melee. A ranger. I haven't thought about that, but a tiefling ranger would also be fun. My bestie, I think, is currently playing ranger. Not a tiefling, though. Rangers are unrivaled scouts and trackers, honing a deep connection with nature in order to hunt their favored prey. True strike and find familiar. Cool. Paladin. A promise made so deeply that it becomes divine in itself flows through a paladin, burning bright enough to inspire allies and smite foes. I think that's also really cool with Azariel Tiefling. Especially because Zariel is a bad person, to say the least. I think that's kind of cool, actually. That works well. Monk. Some reach enlightenment by languid meditation. Others do so in the heat of battle. Monks manipulate ki to empower their own strikes and debilitate their foes. You get flurry of blows and a bunch of class features. Fighter. Fighters have mastered the art of combat, wielding weapons with unmatched skill and wearing armor like a second skin. And you get second wind, which heals you. Druid. Druids channel the elemental forces of nature and share a deep kinship with animals. Mastery of wild shape allows them to transform into beasts from all over the realms. Get cantrips and spells and class features. Cleric. Clerics are representatives of the gods they worship, wielding potent divine magic for good or ill. Cantrips, spells, class features, the spell slots, and domain spells, which are always prepared spells that fit your domain, which in this case it's still life domain that's selected. Bard. Bards know music is more than idle fancy. It is power. Through study and adventure, these traveling troubadours master song, speech, and the magic within. They get cantrips and spells, very specific spells, and actions like bardic inspiration. And then we have Barbarian. The strong embrace the wild that hides inside, keen instincts, primal physicality, and most of all, an unbridled, unquenchable rage. They get rage as an action and unarmored defense as class features. Now I gotta decide my least favorite part. But we are playing dress up, so let's pick something for our beautiful doll over here. I think I'm inclined towards Paladin, even though I am currently playing one anyway. I think it fits like the vibe that I'm imagining in my head, like a valiant fighter who is like constantly looked down upon by people because he is a tiefling. But in his heart, his promise has become divine. I think that's beautiful. I think let's go with paladin. Also, this looks cool with our skin tone. For now, we can change the skin tone. And there's a subclass to paladins, which is which oath you take. And once again, I still haven't updated my game, so there's an oath missing here. That's another thing. I kind of want to play the game with one of the new classes. So while I'm still waiting for mods to figure themselves out, which I'm not sure, that doesn't need to concern you, but while I'm still waiting to actually install the update, I think we're not going to start playing the game. But stick around, you'll see it eventually. So, Oath of the Ancients. You fight on the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness to preserve the sanctity of life and the beauty of nature. You get Healing Radiance, where you get 5 healing. Heal yourself and all nearby allies for 5 hit points. Regain another 5 hit points next turn. That's pretty cool. And these are our tenets, so paladins have, paladin is a really popular class also because it has narrative impact. So you do have to stick to certain decisions, but there's also cool stuff that happens if you break your oath. So kindle the light through acts of kindness, and kindle the light of hope in the bleakest hollows of despair. Shelter the light where love blooms, stand against the devilry that would snip its stem. Preserve your own light, delight in culture and small joys to preserve the light in your own heart. It's very beautiful. Oath of Devotion. Following the ideal of the knight in shining armor, you act with honor and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good. Holy Rebuke. Grant an ally a vengeful aura that deals 1 to 4 radiant damage to anyone who hits them with a melee attack. And our tenets are Courage. Stride dauntlessly into action. Compassion. Show clemency when prudent and lend your arm to those in need. And Duty. Tend your responsibilities, obey just laws, and support those entrusted to your care. This kind of fits what I was talking about earlier, I think. Oath of Vengeance. You have set aside even your own purity to right wrongs and deliver justice to those who have committed the most grievous sins. Inquisitor's Might. This makes me think of Dragon Age. You or an ally's weapon attacks deal an additional 2 radiant damage and can daze enemies for a turn. And our tenets are Fight the greater evil, exerting your wisdom, identify the higher morality in any given instance and fight for it. No mercy for the wicked. Chasten those who dole out their villainy by wiping their blight from the world forever. That also sounds really cool, but I actually think that this works well with what we were talking about before. Doesn't fit the skin tone anymore that well. We can always change it. But also this is armor that you just start with, so that can also be changed throughout the game. Our background. We read through this last time, but we're going to do it again today. This is like story time every time. We can be an acolyte. You have spent your life in service to a temple, learning sacred rites and providing sacrifices to the god or gods you worship, serving serving the gods and discovering their sacred works will guide you to greatness. We get insight and religion. Charlatan. You're an expert in manipulation, prone to exaggeration, and more than happy to profit from it. Bending the truth and turning allies against each other will lead to greater success down the road. Deception and sleight of hand. Criminal. You have a history of breaking the law and survive by leveraging less than legal connections. Profiting from criminal enterprise will lead to greater opportunities in the future. Deception and stealth. I think it would be really counterproductive to pick this because this is how you get inspiration, and our literal oath prohibits us from doing these things, but Entertainer, you live to sway and subvert your audience, engaging common crowds and high society alike. Preserving art and bringing joy to the hapless and downtrodden heightens your charismatic aura. Get acrobatics and performance. Folk hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. Saving innocents in imminent danger will make your legend grow. Animal handling and survival. Guild artisan. Your skill in particular craft in a particular craft has earned you membership in a mercantile guild, offering privileges and protection while engaging in your art. Repairing and discovering rare crafts will bring new inspiration, insight, and persuasion. Noble. You were raised in a family among the social elite, accustomed to power and privilege. Accumulating renown, power, and loyalty will raise your status. History and persuasion. Outlander. You grew up in the wilds, learning to survive far from the comforts of civilization. Surviving unusual hazards of the wild will enhance your prowess and understanding. Athletics and survival. Sage. You are curious and well-read, with an unending thirst for knowledge. Learning about rare lore of the world will inspire you to put this knowledge to greater purpose. Arcana and history. Soldier. You are trained in battlefield tactics and combat, having served in a militia, mercenary company, or officer corps. Show smart tactics and bravery on the battlefield to enhance your prowess. Athletics and intimidation. And urchin. After surviving a poor and bleak childhood, you know how to make the most out of very little. Using your street smarts bolsters your spirit for the journey ahead. I think the one that makes... sleight of hand and stealth. I think the one that makes the most sense for us, the folk hero or outlander. I'm gonna go with folk hero. It just makes the most sense. It's a little basic, but it makes the most sense for a paladin with our oath. I think I will keep these as they are. There's two, if you guys don't know that, only even numbers increase your skill. So charisma is still rolling with 14, constitution is still on 12, and strength is still at 16, even though they are going here. But we can pick a feat later, and then that will help anyway. We can increase that. Our skills are currently animal handling, insight, survival, and persuasion, which I think is pretty great. I'm not sure if I would maybe switch from persuasion to something else, simply because persuasion is something where one could re-roll in conversation. So one could switch to athletics, for example. What was it on before? I think it was an insight, and I took it away from persuasion. One could put it to athletics instead, for example, or religion, which is currently at -1. One could make it +1, but one could also make intimidation greater. That's also possible. The thing that I'm talking about is that intimidation and persuasion are usually conversation skills, like the rolls you get there are in conversation, so you can easily re-roll those rather than checks in battle where it's like harder. So that would be athletics, but we already have pretty high athletics. One could increase medicine, but well, actually I think medicine doesn't come up that much, but it would be helpful if we're like dealing with innocence. How about that? Let's go with that. I think that makes sense. Insight and medicine. Yeah, I think that I'm creating a character in my head that like makes sense if that helps. So let's go to appearance. Ooh, I don't remember what mods I installed here, but apparently there are some, because only these are the main heads. Once again, I'm not choosing a voice. We're just going with the voice 1. We're going with identity male. Even though it's very lovely that in this game you can just pick these separately. But I think we're going with male. I'm not personally super attached to gender, so I think this works. These are the in-game heads, which is always weird to look at because you see these people in-game and I'm like, oh, I know you. Which, you know, isn't what this is about, but... And these are different heads that are from mods. That's really cool with the lines. That works really well. Ooh, this is an interesting shape. It's very spiky. And you are also very spiky. But I think out of those three, I like this one the most. Yeah, I think I do. That's a very lovely nose. And then we have these. Ooh, also very pretty. This looks like a modification of this one. In a way. Very pretty. And that looks very, very similar. I'm sure there is a difference. I just can't see it. Or maybe this is about something else. I don't know. And then we have these. Oh, the nose is funny. And this guy. The person in game that this is, I'm not sure I'm such a fan of this guy. I think we're going with this one. Fun. It's not the face I was expecting for him because his first face is so very, very different. But I think I like it. I like this one. Very nice. And I think I'm actually gonna quickly switch. Oh, is it it's not makeup, it's body art. I'm gonna switch to no makeup so that we can actually look at the skin color in general. Back to the skin color. This is sulfur tone 2, I think. So there's different ones. There's warm tones. Like this looks very human actually. I don't want to make him look human. I think that's not the point of this. These are more like these are well, actually these are all ones that would work for tieflings. These are all very fun, but I think the red ones go better with the other tiefling kind. I think I would stick with the sulfur tone. I'm just not sure which lightness. I like that it's like green in the shadow. I think that's very pretty. Let's click through these. They're all very beautiful. I think I might be a fan of the second one. I also like these. Maybe I'm biased because of the hair though. I think I'm gonna stick. Do you want a darker one? One darker maybe? What do we think? I think we're just gonna stick with the one we had. I think I like it, especially because I think these heads add like a little bit of redness, which looks really nice, I think. Now onto scars. What do we think this guy has? Especially because tieflings have horns. Lots of the vibes don't work. Like I think lots of the hairstyles actually clip weirdly into the horns, which I'm not a fan of. And so it is the case with some of the scars. I actually think these ones work really well. But like this one, for example, I'm not sure if the skin would split like that with these ridges. So, I don't know. I overthink these things. There's one, I didn't see that last time. Maybe it was covered by the face, but there was one, this one I thought was really fun, that like the cut goes around the chin. And these, or the burn scar. Also very cool. But see here, I'm like, how would this burn underneath the... I mean, it could, I guess. But, which one am I most inclined to? I do think I want a scar on him. Do we want to go with the hot lip scar? The other one is like under the horn. That's kind of fun. That makes it seem like maybe someone ripped at his horn. I like that. Are we gonna make him more mature? I don't think so. Not that that's an issue, but do we want freckles? I think we always want freckles. I always want freckles. I love freckles. Even though tieflings, I'm not sure if they have lots of freckles, but I think it's very pretty. And then we're not going to talk about the genitals because this is YouTube. So let's look at body art. Some makeup maybe, if we want, because these are replaced with my mods. Maybe this one actually, with like a little bit, maybe not like that, but maybe like, actually this color is right, but just like way less. I think it could like It's blush, yeah, but I think it's making the eyes look a little bloodshot, which I think works for a hero that's like really trying to live and it's really hard. So I think that makes sense. He's tired, you know? We're making a tired hero. And we gotta look for piercings. This is the thing. I don't know if like piercings last time this took ages. Some of these also don't work super well with the modded faces. Like you can see here that the ears clip. But we can find something that looks good. We'll find something. I am not worried at all. Also, I'm getting attached to the red eyes. I can already, like, that's why I think that's why I like subconsciously also picked the blushy color, because I've been like, that fits the eyes really well, even though we might change the eyes, but this guy looks really cool. I guess he could also have facial tattoos, but I think that's cute anyway. I don't mind facial tattoos, but that's kind of pretty with the, like, cute. We'll remember the Dirks. The J high key Dirks. No, the high key ones, thank you. Well, that's also cool. It's always so hard to decide. We don't need the fangs, they're like blue. See, I'm getting attached to the red. That's also pretty cool. But I don't love this image of like, I don't know. I'm gonna shut up about that. I don't think the septum works for him, is what I'm saying. That's cool, but I think this is like cutting into his nose. What do we think? We're not a bard. We're not a swamp wizard, even though this looks cool on us. Fun stuff. That's pretty cool. I kind of like the eye spikes, the eyebrow spikes. Maybe we go with this. I really like it. What's the next one? No. I like the dragon dirks. Those are pretty. Hell yeah. Okay. We're gonna go with this. And then the eyes. We could do heterochromia with him because they can actually pick like such interesting colors. So let's try that. So you can go all eye colors, but I would like not to. This I always find fun. I played my first character with like human eyes, but I actually think it looks way cooler to just go like to commit, you know, to go for demonic. Where does it switch? It switches exactly at the red. I like the demonic colors for tieflings. I think it adds a level of fun, if that makes sense. I think it looks really cool. Ooh, I love that one. Oh my god, that's beautiful. With the orange on the inside. Well, maybe we can combine something like that, like different double colors. Ooh, that's also pretty. Very, very pretty. Let's go with this one with the orange on the inside. It goes with his skin color. And then let's see if the second one we want to switch to something that's like the full color. You see what I mean? Like this is kind of the same color, but this one adds blue. I think that's gorgeous. Let's go with that. I think that looks cool as hell. Or do we want, I mean, yellow too is just lighter. Yeah, no. No, I think we want that one. I think that looks cool. And then makeup. Do we want to give him some eyeliner? I mean, why not? It works on him. Very pretty. I'm just staring at him. I'm like, ooh, you are pretty. Pretty man. The drama of this one. But I think this kind of takes away from his, like, bloodshot look. All of these are fabulous. That's cute. I was kind of into one of these. Which one was it? This one I was into. Let's go with that, but maybe less intense. How about that? Just like a little bit of dark. Yeah, let's go with like, I say a little bit and then I put it to 60, but I think this works. That's really cool. And let's look at the lip tint. What do we think works? I mean, it's brown currently, which I don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit actually. I think that's kind of cool. We can make it a little bit glossy. Our man is pretty. It's a bit too light maybe. I was thinking this is too warm. Okay, let's go with that. I think that's good. Just like a little. Very pretty. Gorgeous. You're slaying, my man. Okay, I hope I'm not slipping out of the like soft-spoken and just making this a let's play, but you know. What hair works for him? Oh, hello. So I have like way less modded hair for men, I think, for this body type. Oh, this is the long hair. Also very pretty. I think the thing with the horns is like hard. Actually, let's maybe pick the horns first so that we can decide what hair goes with them. So we have hornless, which I think is sad. Let's go with like actual horns. These are really hot. These are called ruin curves, and these are baleful spikes. Also very pretty. It goes with like the lines of his face. What is Minoris spirals from Minotaur, I assume. Very pretty. Gold grafted, very cool. Drake fangs. Splayed thorns, like to the outside. Stygian, skewers. Cool. Ooh, these actually are really fun. I like the dip. What is it? I can't read. Dagger peaks. Phlegethos prongs. Interesting. Ram horns. I've played a ram horned tiefling before. I think they look really pretty. Disc coils. Maladomini spears. Malbolge spires. Ooh. Those are also really fun. And Cania lances. I think I'm between these skewers and the spires. I think these look like more aggressive, which kind of works for his story. What do we think? I think I want these. I think these are cool. And then I would like to change their color a little, because I think it makes more sense to go with like a warmer tone. Blonde, I don't know. You know, like something like this. But I'm unsure. See, I also have like the red tones from that mod that gives you more red options. I think I would want... I think the dark horns are really cool, but I would want them like a little... No, I'm undecided. I don't know if I'm making much sense. I apologize. This taupe is like too white for what I would want it to be. Maybe like something, one of these, I think, because his skin color is like orangey. I would want that to go with his horns. Ash is like too cold, I think. Maybe this one. And then do the tip color, which is really fun because you can do so many different things there. Like a red, for example, actually kind of works really well. I think, like, if we're ignoring the hair right now, we're just going with the skin. I think a red like that. I'm not sure what red. I think this one, actually. I think that one works really well. That's gorgeous. And now we go back to some hair and see what we think works well. See, like this one clips through the horns no matter how cool it is, and I don't want it to clip that much. Let's see. These are like, I don't know if I like these. Ooh, pretty. Very pretty. I think we need something like tied back for him so that it goes with his horns, or something that at least, like, I don't like this one, but something that's out of the face. This is just Gale. The Water Davian Scholar. It's just Gale. Pretty. Gorgeous, my man. Conqueror. It's actually kind of pretty, but I want the ears to be shown. I have such hard preferences. Ooh. Fair Forester. Is this what we had before and I'm just now noticing that it's cute? Maybe. That's also cute. I think I like that. With a little ponytail. That's very cute. Very nice. I keep saying everything is cute. Do I not have other words? Windswept, also cute. I do not have other words, apparently. Not today. Let's go with that. And let's make it a different hair color. I actually like the black. I don't mind the black, even though maybe it could be a warmer brown black. Like a chocolate. Yeah, I like that. Dark chocolate. Is that with all the hair replaced again? Yeah, I think so. And that's gorgeous. Or we could go even like a warm burgundy red. Or oxblood, which is really deep red. I think that kind of also works. What do we think? More brown or more red? I like the red, I think, but that's me, predictable. And then we can do some highlights. I don't know if I want these highlights. This is like very red. Do we want a darker one? Or do we want a browner one? This is also fun because it goes well with like all of his colors. But I don't think they go that well. Maybe let's actually just go with this. Do we want them really intense? Kind of fun, actually. Kind of really fun. But maybe not that intense. Let's go with that. And let's see about graying, because we could also make the graying black. And then it would like bring down the intensity of the whole hair. Or we could make the graying the dark chocolate, and then it's generally just a little bit less intense. That's kind of beautiful. Let's just go with like a gentle, I think it's not like showing all the differences, but like it's way less the second you go to 100 and like down, the difference is pretty intense. I don't know if I'm making sense anymore. Let's go with like an 80. I think that's pretty because it also kind of looks like his hair is naturally black and then the red is like dyed on top, and I like that through the sun you can see that the red is like really intense. Maybe a different red. This red is maybe a bit light, but actually I think this might be going like a way that I like that actually. Maybe not this intense, but I like a lighter color there. That looks crazy, but kind of fun. Am I crazy that I think this looks cool? I think it kind of works with his general coloring. I think it might still be a little too intense, but like, how do we feel about like a flamey color like this? I think that works, and I'm probably wrong, but I think it works. It's like a bloody wood burn, and I think it works well with the rest of his face. Yeah, I think I'm in favor. Ooh, facial hair. We didn't have that last time as an option. Or I didn't. Ooh, that's clipping weirdly with his face. That looks really fun, actually, on him. Do we think he's a beard kind of guy? I think he isn't, simply for the fact that it's clipping with his face. So I don't think we can give him at least a short beard. No, I think he has kind of a K-poppy vibe, and I think this doesn't work. But actually this looks really cool. But I don't know. I don't think the short beards work with the clipping. No. This is fun. This is beautiful. Gorgeous. Stunning. Absolutely stunning, but I think we're gonna go without a beard. I think that works for him. He's like the valiant hero. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And the horns we already picked. And they look gorgeous. Okay. I think that's our character. Actually, is it? Is it? Are we done with you? Are you beautiful? You're gorgeous. You are pretty. Okay, I think we're gonna go with them. Are we? Yeah, I think so. Incredibly beautiful. And we're gonna go with a name. How about we're dramatic and we call him Sin? Like Sin, S-I-N, but we go with Sin for Cinnamon. Because last time we named her Cinnamon. I think that's gorgeous. And I don't want to go with Cinna because that's a Hunger Games thing. I think he's gorgeous. Okay. I'm gonna go proceed, make, or just randomize the next character that you have to make for this game. For anyone who doesn't know, you have to make 2 characters. This one's way more important though. I'm gonna do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was as relaxing as the first one. I'm gonna put them probably in a little playlist. And we're gonna see each other for the next character whenever I get to that. Feel free to give me suggestions and tell me what you think of me playing this game in total in a playthrough. That's going to be the longest, by the way, the longest project ever. And I've done almost 100 episodes of Stardew because this game is incredibly long if you do everything. So strap in, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope that whatever you guys do next, it goes super, 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 super well. And if that is sleeping, sleep well, sweet dreams, and good night.